Hey guys, okay, so I'm super excited to show you our curriculum haul for the school year 2022-2023. And this year, so my oldest has graduated, so he does not do school with us any longer, but I'm still homeschooling 3 kids, and they are going to be 11th grade, 9th grade, and 4th grade. So I'm breaking this video up into 2 parts, one for my elementary students and then one for my high school students, because they're doing a lot of the same things, even though we're going to be doing morning time kind of all together, all 3 of us, and we're going to be doing that all together. But the rest, really, the high schoolers will do the majority of it together. And then Vera, my 4th grader, she kind of has a separate lineup for her curriculum. So that's why I'm pulling this out. This is the elementary video. This is all of Vera's, my 4th grader's work that she's going to be doing this year. I'm really excited. And so this is how I keep track of it all. This is a course of study. So I do one of these for each of my kids. And basically it is a list of the subjects that they will be doing and then the resources that they will be using for each one of those and kind of what they'll cover in each one. And then I also keep track of what has been purchased so I don't forget and rebuy or forget to buy. And then I hang on to those, so then it kind of reminds me what we did when. And I also have a blog post up on my blog with a directory of kind of what we have used in each year of homeschool from the beginning. So my oldest is 20, so we started homeschooling him in 1st grade. So it's many, many years of homeschool curriculum. So it's our directory. A lot of things we have used from 15 years ago till now, which is kind of wild, but also it just tells you that these things are tried and true and they just work really well for our family, and they might work well for yours too. So I'm going to get into what Vera's curriculum picks are, and I'm going to start with morning time. So morning time is going to be done all together. In fact, we will also include my 20-year-old when we can make that work. Basically what we are doing for that is Bible. We talk about current events many days. We kind of go over what we're going to be doing for the day, kind of what our day or our week looks like if it's Monday, and anything that we need to kind of discuss as a family. And I find that that's a really good time for everybody to kind of connect and kind of get their feet under them before we start our busy day. So this, what I'm going to share, is kind of something that we'll all be doing, but a little bit of this is specifically for Vera. So the first thing on my list is these catechism books, Truth and Grace memory books. There are 3 of them. Vera will be mostly working in the first one. I love these books so much. I'm not sure if you'll be able to even see the what I'm talking about here, but what I really love is there are about 85 questions, and it's just a basic catechism to catechize your kids. And then there's a section for scripture memory. Vera has memorized a lot of these. And then in the back, there's like Bible basics, so memorizing the 10 Commandments, the Apostles' Creed, the books of the Bible. And then in the very back is hymns that they can memorize. And then there's also kind of a checklist, I'll show you, for you to check off when your child memorizes what. And then they just go up kind of in difficulty. And that's why there's a level 2 and a level 3. I would say that you could start this with your very young children, like even 2-3 years old on up. I'm using this with all of my kids really, but mostly Vera. I would say the level 2 book is great for middle school, and I would say level 3 is good for high school. For our house, maybe your house is a little bit different, but that's kind of my thoughts on those. I really, really love those, so we'll be working on those every day and just kind of working on memorization. The other thing we'll be doing every day is Bible. We have read through the entire Old Testament, so over the summer we've kind of been doing just kind of random books here and there. Like we read through the book of Acts. We're just kind of reading all over the place, really. So when we start school in the fall, we will start with the New Testament, and we're using a Bible reading plan from the Bible Project. We don't really watch the videos, but I did find their Bible reading plan to be just well put out, and so we just use that. And then that's what we'll do together for our morning time. And then I will break into this with Vera. This is from Brighter Day Press. I've kind of had my eye on this for a long time, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but when I really looked at it closer, I'm not great at following lesson plans, so that's why I just didn't know if I wanted to commit to a whole year of planned out lesson plans, and we'll see how it goes. But when I looked at this, the closer that I looked at it, and you can see if you go to the website, and I'll have links to all of this stuff as well, but if you go to the website, you can see the book list that she uses for each term in the book, in the morning time plans. And so when I looked at the book list, I thought, you know what? There's already a lot of those books that I either want to read with my kids or am already reading with my kids. One of which is this one, Theology, which if you want your kids to have a really good grasp on good Christian theology, this is a wonderful book for kids. I have not worked all the way through it with Vera yet. You can see we're getting there. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and start over, because it's been several years that we've been using it, and read through it according to the plan. So then we can get through the book in a school year. So this is how it's set up. This is just a random week that I opened to. You have your Bible reading for the day, which I probably won't pay attention to because we're already doing a reading plan. And then a devotional, which the devotional that she uses with this morning plan is, it's another one by Marty Makowski, and I forget the name, which we actually have the book, but I'm not going to use it because Vera just finished it with her dad. They read Bible stories at night, and they just finished it. So we'll probably skip this whole first line, and then she has a prayer, then she has a memory verse that you're working on with your kids, which I think is so great. And then she has a hymn, a couple of different hymns for each term, which is also really great. The music is in here, and then she has I think a Spotify maybe list to listen to the music on, and then she has the New City Catechism. So instead of doing the New City Catechism, we'll just be using our Truth and Grace Catechism books. And then she has the arts. So there's a piece of music to listen to, or there's a picture study depending on the day. And then for each term, she has 2 different read aloud options, which I really like, because that's another reason why I struggle with using other people's plans, because sometimes it's like, I've already read that book, or I don't want to read that book to the kids. And the thing about Whitney's plans, they're all super quality literature, just very good quality books. So there's 2 options for the read aloud, like for instance, for this term, The Trumpet of the Swan and The Secret Garden. So those are both great options. And so we'll just pick one of those and run through it. There's also lots of missionary stories. So Vera and I will be working on this. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you guys for Vera's morning meeting is this copy work. This might be a little confusing because this is copy work from the Westminster Shorter Catechism. And so basically, I'm trying to see here, there's 110-ish questions, and she will just be using this for copy work. So you can see kind of what that looks like. And she'll be copying the answers to these different catechism questions. The part that's a little confusing is that the Westminster Shorter Catechism does differ a little bit from this one. This is based on a Baptist catechism For boys and girls, it's reprinted from really old, I don't remember when the original printing is from. So there is gonna be some slight differences in the wording and things like that. And there may be some things for us to discuss. But either way, they're both great catechisms. So anyway, this is from classicalcopywork.com. And so she will be working on both catechism questions and cursive at the same time. And she'll just kind of copy this probably while I'm reading and kind of work through that throughout the year. Okay, let's talk about math and language arts for a few minutes for my fourth grader. For this year, she's going to be working through Saxon 3. I realize that this is third grade, but also I know by this point in the game that grade levels don't really matter all that much. What does matter is pushing your child way too hard before they're ready for certain skills. And so we have just been diligently plugging away through Saxon 1 and 2, and now she's at Saxon 3. And so I'm completely comfortable with it. I know some homeschool moms freak out about getting behind or whatever, but I just don't think you can get behind in homeschool. I mean, if there's major problems, I understand that that can happen, but this isn't a major problem. So anyway, that's what she's using for math. And let's talk about language arts. This is what she's doing for language arts. She's got a couple of things. She will work through this handwriting book once in a while. She loves working in this, and she started it in the spring of last school year. So she's got some of it done, about half done. And so between the copy work that I already pointed out and this, she'll have a lot of good handwriting practice and cursive practice. And so that's what she'll be using for that. And then I also have a couple of books that we'll be using kind of for grammar. I love Easy Grammar so much. I've used it with all of my kids. I kind of have a particular way that I teach my kids, spelling and grammar and things like that. And I won't get into all of that right now, but I decided kind of at the end of last year that Vera was probably ready. She'd gotten really, really good at reading. And so I decided it was time for her to start some grammar. And so we started with this. This is just capitalization, really starts with the basics, capitalization, punctuation, and things like that. And so I just grabbed the second grade book and she started working through it, and she'll fly right through this. And then the other thing that we'll be working on kind of with the Easy Grammar is this first language lessons. I really wanted to teach Vera how to diagram sentences at a younger age than I started with my older kids. And so this is going to help her do that. It's got kind of some listening exercises. I'll be reading some excerpts from some really good books, and then we'll be doing activities based on that. This is the student book. I also have a teacher guide too, and you do need both in order to do this curriculum. And then the last thing, I pulled this for language arts. I'm calling it like language arts and literature. But there are just so many fun things to pull from these books. So Evan Moore makes these, they make history pockets, they make literature pockets. There might be another one as well. I don't even know if these are still in print anymore, but I have so many and I absolutely love them. And I did this first through third grade with my oldest when he was probably a second or third grader. And you can see all the different Caldecott metal books that are covered in this fun thing. And so I just thought I have what grades are this? Is this one? This is 4th through 6th grade, and this is 1st through 3rd. So I just thought maybe one a month, we would just maybe do this on Friday, something fun to do together, her and I. Just pull some books off of these lists, read them, and then do the activities that are inside. And then what you do is you take a large piece of construction paper, I'm trying to think, is that a 12 by 18, and you fold the bottom up to kind of create a pocket. And so you have like a pocket for each book, if you can kind of tell that from the picture. And then there's activities for each book. So some of them are kind of boring and we won't do everything, but there's just some fun things to do, and you learn more about the Caldecott Medal books. You can, grab all kinds of books by that illustrator or author and read really good books together. And so it's just a fun thing that I found on the shelf that I wanted to do with my youngest, because I did with my oldest and my middles did not do it with me. So anyway, we're gonna do that. So that's language arts and math. All right, so we're just gonna start with we're gonna start with science, because science is the easiest one to talk about here. We're actually not using a curriculum at all. I've used Apologia Science for the last couple of years, and it has been so great. We've actually really, really loved it. We did one of the zoology ones a couple of years ago, the bird one, the flying creatures one, and then we did earth science last year, and they were both really, really fun. This year though, since there's some subjects I'm gonna have to help my high schoolers with, I just decided for this year with Vera, I just am going to use her nature journal, and she is going to just every other week going to be doing nature classes with Miss Cindy for No Sweat Nature class. These are phenomenal classes that really, they're called nature, but there's really just so much science in them as well. And so it's definitely going to be a great alternative to like a science curriculum. And I will just grab books that go along with the topic. So maybe for fall, we'll talk about pumpkins and bats or something. So she's got a ton of lessons already done in here, and a huge video catalog to choose from if we're not really into the new lesson coming up for that week. There's 2 live lessons a week, but you can access all of the old lessons in the video library. There's tons. So it's just a great class. So she's gonna do that. So it's a little bit less for me to kind of prepare and do, but it's still like a great option. Okay, so here's what we're gonna use for history. I couldn't decide. There were so many good options to use. We are going to be doing approximately, I'm just gonna say like after the Revolutionary War, kind of like westward expansion, kind of like Louisiana Purchase time to about Civil War time, or kind of leading up to the Industrial Revolution. Somewhere in there. I'm not like completely like, cemented into which years we're going to cover, but about there. So let's just say westward expansion to Civil War-ish. So our main thing that we're going to be using is this time traveler study. I love these. I absolutely love these. We have done ancient Greece, we have done elections, we have done, we've done colonial times, we've done the Reformation, Renaissance and Reformation. I just love them. I love them because they include tons of hands-on projects, which I will show you. I just saw it. Maybe I won't. There's recipes. Every lesson here's a hands-on project. Every lesson you are creating this giant timeline, and for each lesson, usually you're making a little piece for a really amazing lap book that you'll have at the very end. So I really, really love these studies. There's a lot to them. There's a lot to print out. There's a lot of prep work that you have to do. So if that's something that you don't like, then I would not suggest it for you, but it is really fun. So this is going to be the main book that we're going to be using to kind of work us through the time period that we're kind of covering. So that's one thing. I'll set that over there. And then these two, these are also both really curriculum that you could use on their own. One of them is Early American History, Beautiful Feet books. So we would be starting about that. We're going to be doing about that much of the book. We're going to be pulling the books. So I have the entire curriculum that goes along with this teacher's book. And this is also really great for its own reasons as well. If you're more of like a loose planner, you don't love to follow a certain plan every day, and you just kind of want some good books to read, you don't want a lot of prep work, and you don't want a lot of like hands-on projects, this is a great option for you. There are great books with this, so I will be pulling the books for this section of the curriculum, and we'll be reading through those together. And then there's some questions to go with each section of the book that you read. There's some different ideas in here. There's some recipes. And they're really pretty as well. So anyway, I have a full review on this particular curriculum if you want to check that out too. And then the last book that I will be using to pull ideas from is this one. This one is brand new. This one is hot off the press. This is from Common Sense Press. And I am always impressed with what Common Sense put out. So they actually sent me this book. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, and I didn't know what to expect. So I got to looking at it, and I was like, oh, well, I have to use this. So this is such a great, you could use this and work through really, let's see, where does it start? The colonial period all the way to post-war years, like 1968. So you could do this. They have a kind of a plan that you could do and do all of that history in 1 year. That's a lot for us because I like to kind of deep dive a little bit more. But each time period, they've got it broken down into time periods like that. And each time period gives you a timeline. They give you people to study. They give you book ideas, movie ideas. It's really a giant list in each of these historical periods for you to deep dive into it on your own with your kids. There's no real lesson plan. It's just kind of more loose for you to do your own planning, which is great. And so there's historical fiction options. There's kind of more reference book options. There's words to know, like vocabulary words. There is all kinds of questions to cover with your kids, and lots and lots and lots of ideas, which I absolutely love. What I really liked about this is all of the movie suggestions, and we're definitely going to do that. So we're going to be pulling ideas out of this as well. So that's a lot for history, but it's going to be really fun. I also pulled these books off the shelf that I had too, Pioneer Days. There's a bunch of fun games and activities in here, so I'm going to pull some ideas out of here. And the same with this one. This is just such a fun book. It's like all kinds of survival tips and stories, and the drawings are really beautiful, and I think there might be some recipes in here as well, some different ideas. So anyway, we're going to be using some of this stuff as well, and then hopefully some fun field trips and things like that. So that is everything that my fourth graders are going to be using this year. I hope that was helpful. If you have middle schoolers or high schoolers, I'll be posting that video separately, so watch out for that. So thanks for watching.